So, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from today. My name is Tehila Chimfwembe, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the April edition of the ADI webinar series, and it's brought to you via Zoom. So, we're excited to have you participate from all across Africa and really beyond for this vital conversation titled Strengthening Maize Seed Systems for Multiple Stress Resilience. Thank you so much for being here. Before we begin, I'd like to go through some housekeeping rules or just make you aware of what's currently going on. So we have a session that is being recorded that will then be posted on YouTube later on. So please keep your microphones muted unless you are invited to speak. Please also make use of our Q&A box or the chat functionality to share your questions or comments throughout the session. And we really encourage you to introduce yourselves in the chat as we begin and let us know where you are dialing in from. For those who are new to the series, here's a brief introduction about ADI. So the Southern Africa Accelerated Innovation Delivery Initiative is a 3-year rapid response effort led by CIMMYT, as well as the International Fertilizer Development Center. The initiative supports millions of smallholder farmers across Zambia, across Malawi, Tanzania, and the Katanga region in the DRC. What we do is we fast-track access to agricultural innovations to help them manage the rising cost of food, fuel, and fertilizer. So I don't want to go too much on ADI. If you'd like more information, we encourage you to also check out our website. We've got so many success stories about the great work of sustainability and various practices that is going on under this project. So please read up about it so that you have more questions and that you're eager to join the next session. So to kick off today's discussion, I am absolutely pleased to introduce to you a colleague of mine, Dr. Akpo. He is the Maize and Seed System Specialist at CIMMYT, and he has played such a strategic role here at ADI. His work enhances seed systems across Southern Africa, working to improve the access of high-quality seeds to support seed companies and ensure innovations reach the farmers who need it the most. So without further ado, I'd like to call on the floor Akpo. Please do take it away.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Tehila, for inviting me. You nicely introduced to me already, and I'm glad to be here to
Sorry,
share
Akpo, can
with
I
you.
disturb you just a bit? We can't see your face. So if I can ask that you just quickly adjust your screen so that we can see it properly, and then you can go ahead with it. But I do know Akpo was facing some connectivity challenges, so at some point he was going to switch off his camera. Please do take it away, Akpo. Thank you.
Okay, can you see me now? Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks so much. So thank you, Tehila, for the introduction. But above all, I want to thank you for inviting me to share our experiences in terms of strengthening the maize systems for multiple stress resilience. And most importantly, I will be sharing our experiences from Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, and DR Congo. And before I get into the details of this presentation, I would like to acknowledge the strong contribution from colleagues like Walter Chivasa, James Gethi, but most importantly, all these Global Maize Program AGI partners in Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, and DR Congo. So the work I'm presenting, I'm just like the spokesperson, but they have done the bulk a part of the job. So colleagues, I'm speaking to you from Nairobi, Kenya, where I'm currently based. And my presentation, I hope, is it changing the slide? The healer, please confirm.
Confirm.
So my presentation will start with some background information. I will also introduce you to the approach we are using to accelerate maize seed delivery, the demand creation work we are running through partners, but also the multifaceted seed quality assurance we are deploying. And I will end my presentation with some thoughts on the seed production trends and the supply in sub-Saharan Africa. And for most of us, we know the critical role that the maize play in our communities. In Zambia, but also Malawi, it is close to 2 million hectares that are covered, and over 3 million metric ton of grain, maize grain, are also produced. And when we look at the FAO data of 2025, and most importantly, about 80% of the maize production in sub-Saharan Africa, but in Southern Africa, they come from a smallholder farmer. And these smallholder farmers, they mainly rely on rain-fed agriculture. And as you people know, recently, the weather is really, really unpredictable, and it has a major effect on the productivity of the crop. And we are fortunate that the research and development community have developed new germplasm. These germplasm have already been released. They are high yielding, they are mineral rich, and also they do better in the challenging production environment. So if we have this germplasm, why don't we deploy them to farmers, to smallholder farmers who definitely need them? That is the aim, one of the aim of ADI, whereby we endeavor to make these multiple stress-tolerant maize varieties readily available for farmers. And we have used a number of mechanisms that I will talk about in this presentation. First, how are we deploying improved maize varieties, multiple stress-tolerant maize varieties to communities? Let me look at these approaches we are using first. CIMMYT, through the Global Maize Program, is using a market system approach to scale out, but also up the maize, the multiple stress tolerance maize varieties, or even hybrids, through the ADI projects. We are relying on public-private partnership to have impact, but also for this impact to be sustainable. So we are working with private seed companies, but also the public seed company to have these varieties in farmers' hands. And we are running large demand creation activities through demonstration plot per year. Of course, the work we are doing, it is gender sensitive, it is inclusive of women, but also youth farmers. And to deploy, to accelerate multiple stress-tolerant maize varieties within these communities, we are using private sector oriented approach. What does it mean? If you look at this table, whereby we have the various actors, the number of them we have partnered with in 2022 and 2022, 2023, but also 2023, 2024. In addition to that, the various varieties, the various multiple stress tolerant varieties we are deploying to communities, if you look at them, you know, about 18, let's say about 80%, which translate into 18 over 23 partners we worked with in 2024. They are from the private sector. You can look down the red highlight at the bottom of the table. And in terms of varieties we are promoting, out of the 69 they promoted in 2023, 2024, you look at the red highlights at the bottom of the table, 57 come from the private sector. They are private sector varieties, which is more than 80% of the varieties being promoted. So we think using the private sector approach, it will accelerate the delivery of multiple stress-tolerant maize. But of course, the approach we are using to strengthen the maize seed system for multiple stress resilience, it is demand-driven. It is also quality-oriented in terms of the product, but also the technologies we are deploying. So all the variety we are deploying, there are 69. They are drought tolerant. And we know the effect of droughts in the communities. We are also deploying 3 varieties that are fall armyworm tolerant, because we know the damage fall armyworm is also inflicting to maize production within the various countries. Provitamin A maize are also being deployed, but we also make sure that farmers are receiving the right varieties they are promised or they are being sold. So we use quality assurance and quality control tools through DNA, a modern technology like DNA fingerprints. We are also supporting private seed companies, but also public sector on early generation seed. Because if you want quality certified seed to go to farmers, parent seed are also critical. For the various player also to have access to modern varieties, CIMMYT is also leading the International Maize Improvement Consortium, where various partners, they can come to see the novel technology. And to make sure that the technologies deployed, they fit well into the agroecologies. The regional on-farm trials are also conducted widely across various geographies, but also with various partners. If you look at the larger picture on the right, where I've written 4 tolerant maize hybrid, you can see how well the fall armyworm tolerant maize hybrid can do. You see the maize that have been harvested from this fall armyworm tolerant maize hybrid, and the one which is the chick. So you can see how good these varieties are. And in terms of bringing the technologies, the multiple stress-tolerant technologies to farmer, we are running many demonstrations so that farmers can see how this technology perform within the community under ADI. And in 2023, a total of 5.5 thousand demonstrations have been hosted by both male and female. And in 2024, almost double year 1 achievement has been reached. So over 10,600 demonstration plot have been run, and this demonstration almost 50% have been hosted by female. I also want to give you an idea, let's say, a brief overview of how well we cover the geography in each country. You can see that the demonstration cover the wide agroecologies where maize is grown, whether we are in Zambia, in Malawi, in Tanzania, but also Katanga region in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We run also field days. Over 400,000 people have been involved in the field days conducted under AGI in 2023. This figure was around 280,000 in 2004 because of the dry spell. Of course, small seed pack have also been used, and close to 300,000 male and female farmers have benefited, and more of this small seed pack, they went to a female farmer. So fall armyworm tolerant maize seed had been distributed by ZARI through this exercise. Of course, in addition to demand creation activities like demonstration plots, like a farmer field days, we are also gathering market intelligence. And this slide shows you how the multiple stress-tolerant maize being deployed in Malawi, for instance, how they have been sold across the country. And also through the work of one of our partners, which is STAM, the Seed Trade Association of Malawi, we also we understand, we also came to the conclusion that over 80% of the maize packaging that are bought by farmer, they are the one of 5 kg. Of course, yeah, at some point in time, I was introducing you to the quality assurance, but also quality control. In 2024, for instance, we ran a capacity building for all our partners coming from the 4 countries, coming from the public sector, but also the private sector, whereby we train them on quality assurance and quality control. And the focus, it is on molecular tool, because all these multiple stress-tolerant maize being deployed within the communities, we have them a DNA fingerprint, so that when we check them, we are able to know whether the variety being sold to farmers, they are genuine or not. And I say that it is a multifaceted quality assurance approach we are using, because beyond what CIMMYT is doing in terms of capacity building, the public sector like DAS in Malawi, or even the private sector like Peacock in Malawi as well, or even the Seed System Group, SSG, in GR Congo, the same with the other partners in Zambia, but also in Tanzania. Farmers are trained to maintain quality, to be aware of quality issues, whether it is in terms of quality assurance, in terms of detasseling of maize at a certain point in time when it comes to seed production. So seed companies or the wide variety of partners are trained on quality assurance. We also support partners on early generation seed production, and in 2023, over 42 metric ton of parent seed have been produced, including fall armyworm tolerant material. And in 2024, the production was over 145 metric ton. So we support our private and public partner to make sure that parent seed is available. Of course, the parent seed, it is used to produce certified seed. In 2023, we produce over close to 14,000 metric ton certified seed through partnership in 3 countries, and that had benefited close to 3 million people in the different countries. In 2024, if you look at the bottom of the table, we almost double the seed production through our partners in terms of multiple stress-tolerant maize varieties, and the over 26,500 metric ton certified seed produced benefited close to 5.5 million people in the four countries. Of course, the intervention, the various activities we are running, it has impacted the seed production trends in terms of CG-related stress-tolerant maize, and we can see that in Malawi, overall, we have been making impacts. And unfortunately for Malawi, we realize that the overall seed production is a kind of decreasing. Of course, in Zambia, it is the opposite. We know Zambia is really a hub in terms of a certified seed production. In Tanzania, we also have an increasing trend in terms of multiple stress-tolerant maize production. But how does this translate when we go at a larger scale when it comes to the Sub-Saharan Africa? So between 2016 and 2023, we have over 200,000 metric tons that have been produced, and this has benefited close to 56 million people in 13 countries. Tehila, I hope I'm doing well on time, and if I still have maybe 2 minutes, I can just show you this success story where people are talking about the benefit they will gain from the multiple stress-tolerant maize we are promoting. Am I doing good on time?
Yes, you are. You've got about 2-3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let me play this for you. This is a success story that we have gathered. Over 12 have been gathered in Malawi, for instance, and this is an experience we got from Malawi.
This is Doha, 6 kilometers from Lilongwe, the capital. We are on our way to pay a visit to our lead farmer, Sophie Zintenga, a member of Mdapepuka Cooperative. Her life was totally changed after 2 growing seasons of peacock seeds maize variety under the ADI project.
Ori ni marinka wona kulawo maba chimangateja bala nachikolola tachikolola kubuditsa kumudzi nkuchigawa magawo kuli ichincho tenzi ya sima ichi ni kulitseko ndiye tachigulitsa chija ndalipira ko mwana ku sukulu chotsalacho mupita ntawoni mumponeni kwagula malo numangapo kanyumba nkugula malata yanga nukhoma panopa nyumbayo ni malandako sari 5,000 pamwezi. Ndiye naona kuti mene ndafika chonchi kuti ayi piko koyu wanipindulira ori udale chaka chinochi nikati nakololaso chimene nalimachi ngakhale vula inavuta koma chabala mocho chabala ndithu nikakolola chimene chocho nchoti niwanjezeretseso nyumba pamene popo mori neyo piko kadanipindulira morero ndo imeneni yabwino zedi. Zaka zinazi mbuyo muni malima lokolo monga chimanga cha lokolo chiti malima koma sichimanipindulira koma amene nambiri ulima mbewu ya pikoko yanipindulira kwambiri mori sinidzaleka ayi nizilimabe ngakhale kevula izivura koma be chimonetsa kuti chabalako fuka chala chimanga chiwiri ndiye kuti mepo dze kuti univi manga 4 phesili yonse imakhala nzimanga ziwiri zokula bwino.
Under the signage of Southern Africa Accelerated Innovation Delivery Initiative, ADI, and with support from Feed the Future.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So you can see how our mothers, they are dancing, our sisters, how happy they are for these technologies they are receiving. So let me end my presentation by acknowledging our partners in Malawi, DAS, Peacock, SIDCO, Museko, but STAM. In Zambia, Synergy Seed, Zamseed, AMAC, Lake Agriculture, ETG, Zari, in Tanzania, Toski, AfriSeed, SIDCO, IFASeed. Of course, in DR Congo, we also acknowledge the work by Seed System Group, SIDCO, the University of Lubumbashi, and also AfriSeed. Thanks so much, Tehila. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akpo, for that rich and timely presentation. You know, I really like how you ended it all. First, you started with the data, showing us the lessons and what has come out of it, showing us the numbers. I always say numbers don't lie, but there's really something so impactful when you share a success story because it puts a face to these numbers and you actually get to realize how life transforming the ADI project has been. Hearing how our aunt or grandmother, as it were, from Malawi has been able to thrive even during dry spells is absolutely incredible and really gives us the motivation that we need to keep doing what we're doing, being in these offices, carrying out research, publicizing what's happening, and really just ensuring that even those in the far-flung areas of Southern Africa are reached with this knowledge and with these various varieties. Dr. Akpo, once again, thank you so much. I'll be calling on you when it's the question and answer session. So far, I haven't seen any, but I encourage all our participants to just note them down in the chat box or in the Q&A provision. Now, to complement such a high-level perspective, we would like to hear from those in the field. And I know Dr. Akpo had acknowledged our implementing partners that are really helping us make a real difference in the lives of real people. And one of those implementing partners that who are working directly with the farmers is Stewart's Globe Limited, trading as AfriSeed. And I know Dr. Akpo mentioned them in Malawi, in Tanzania, DRC, and I think Zambia. But please help me in welcoming John Chimfwembe from AfriSeed, and he will share how really AfriSeed is playing a vital role in the seed value chain, especially with regards to last mile delivery and farmer adoption. John, are you ready for us?
Thank you, Tahila. I'm very, very much ready. I've been waiting patiently, actually.
I'm glad. Please take it away.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Tahila, for the good introduction, and also for the opportunity to invite us to just share our experience on the ADI project. This is much appreciated. Yeah, so I'll basically be giving a brief presentation, a case study presentation titled Scaling Up Adoption of Drought Tolerant Hybrid Maize Seed Varieties in Zambia. So before I jump into the presentation, I would like to give a background on the company, AfriSeed, just for our participants who may not be familiar with the company. So we are a seed company incorporated as Stewards Group Limited, but trading as AfriSeed. So we specialize in seed research, production, marketing, and distribution of improved seed varieties of cereals, legumes, and forage seeds. So we are headquartered in Lusaka, Zambia, with a business unit in Tanzania and seed operations in Angola and the DRC Congo. So our mission at AfriSeed is to empower smallholder farmers through the distribution of highly improved seed varieties, which are also climate resilient and high yielding to smallholder farmers, basically to address productivity issues as well as income issues at household level. So with that, I think I can jump into the presentation now. Okay. So on the project overview, so the aim of this project was basically to build resilience, smallholder farmer resilience to climate change negative impacts such as droughts. We recently experienced droughts, so it is something that everybody can now acknowledge that it's a big problem that we have to address in the seed industry. So another one was food insecurity. So we intended to address these challenges by accelerating the adoption of certified drought soil and hybrid maize seed varieties. And you know, in Zambia, maize is a staple crop. So any disruption to maize production can cause food insecurity issues in the country. So this is why this project and partnership with CIMMYT is very, very important. So the problem that we sought to address was low adoption of climate resilient seed varieties coupled with good agriculture practices. You know, you can have the right variety, a climate resilient seed variety, but if you have poor agriculture practices, you end up with a poor yield. And we've noticed that this has been a cause for crop failures, as well as reduced incomes and food insecurity in our farming communities. So in terms of geographical scope, the project focused on countrywide implementation. So we focused on all the provinces in Zambia. Then in terms of stakeholders, of course, we looked at value chain stakeholders. So these are the agro dealers who help us with distribution of seeds to the end users, and the smallholder farmer cooperatives who are also our customers, and the Ministry of Agriculture. We're collaborating with the Ministry of Agriculture at different levels, at district level as well as provincial level. Then the funding organization, of course, CIMMYT and USAID. Then our target beneficiaries for this project were smallholder farmers, particularly women and youths in rural farming communities. Okay. So now there's a timeline there, yes, okay. So in terms of project approach and methodology, our strategic approach was simple and effective based on industry-based practices, tested and proven strategies. So this was focused on demonstration-led demand creation activities and farmer-centric engagement model and trainings. So in terms of basic methodology, we looked at field demonstrations, farmer field days, and training units. These were meant to address both the awareness side as well as the demand side in terms of stimulating uptake. So in terms of innovation, we bundled our seed sales, our seeds with continuous extension services, because we understand that a farmer can have the right seed, but if they have not been educated on the right good agriculture farming practices and they don't receive the necessary extension support, they can end up recording a poor yield, which can negatively impact their household incomes and also threaten food security. So from the pictures that I've attached, you can see that the pictures summarize our approach and methodology. You can see a demo there, AF635. You can see two field days happening where farmers are being educated about our varieties. So this was basically the approach in terms of stimulating uptake or adoption. This is based on industry best practices, and this is what was incorporated in our project. So when we move to the project supported key activities, so under this project, we've highlighted 3 activities that were key to achieving the results that we achieved. So the first one was the distribution of free sample seed packs. The target was 15,000. So this one, the goal here was to reduce the barriers to adoption, the financial risk, because these small seed packs were distributed to farmers at 0 cost. Okay, so a cost actually in what we've learned actually through our work is that most farmers hesitate to try new varieties because of the financial risk that is attached to that trial. For instance, we've seen farmers talking about, okay, I've been planting this particular variety from this company, but I've seen people talk about this variety, but I want to try it now. What if it doesn't perform well? I'll lose my money. And farmers have seasonal income. So distributing these small seed packs removes that financial risk and enables farmers now to build confidence by having first-hand experience in the variety. So we're giving them for free and they're trying this variety on their own, either in their backyard or maybe off-season production on a small scale. But through that, they're getting first-hand experience. And from there now, farmers are confident in making a decision to adopt a particular variety or not to. So the pack size is usually 250 grams. And two varieties were distributed during this project, and that is AF635 and AF638, both medium maturity, drought-tolerant hybrid maize seed varieties. Then the second key activity was the establishment of hybrid maize seed demos. The target was 550. So seed demos are a way of just showcasing or demonstrating the performance of our drought-tolerant hybrid maize seed varieties under real local conditions, farming conditions. So we distribute these demo seed packs to farmers, sometimes in communities where farmers establishing our seed demos in communities. We also have seed demos along the road. So there are demos that we also manage as a company, and there are demos that are managed by smallholder farmers. So the ones that are managed by smallholder farmers are the ones that are many. And this is just for us to showcase the performance of our seed varieties to farmers, for them to make an informed decision on whether to adopt or not. Then from the same field days, we now pick the worst performing field days and the best performing field days. So we don't just pick the good ones. So we get the worst and the best. And then we sample these varieties, these sites. And then on these same sites, that's where we now host field days. And our target for field days for this project was 15,750 farmers in attendance. So the goal of the field days is basically to provide a practical learning experience where farmers interact with the demonstration plots, get to witness the performance of the variety, and also exchange knowledge and receive first hands-on training on drought-tolerant maize varieties. We also touch on good agriculture practices and sometimes post-harvest management. So we now move to the key achievements for our project. So this has been an impactful project. In terms of small seed sample distribution, the target was 15,000. We surpassed the target by 5%, reaching 15,818 smallholder farmers. Then in terms of hybrid maize seed demonstration plots, the target of 550, we exceeded that target by 103%. establishing a cumulative total of 1,120 seed demos. And this increase was driven by us entering new regions like the Northern Circuit, in Luapula, Muchinga, and Northern Province. Initially, we were not very active in those areas, but under this partnership, we were able to go there and establish seed demos and also conduct a lot of seed awareness and demand creation activities. Then on farmer field days, the target was 15,750. This one, there was a shortfall. The achievement percentage was only 93%. And this was because of the droughts that we suffered in year 2. And most of the demos were mounted in regions that were hard hit by the drought. That's why we had that shortfall. Otherwise, for year 3, I can say by the close of year 3, we should double this number, because we're looking at an additional 900 seed demos that have been set up demonstrating these drought tolerant hybrid maize seed varieties to farmers. And from there, we've already started hosting field days. So once the data and the registers are compiled, we should be looking at a very high number in terms of reach. Okay, so you can see from the pictures, there's a field day there. And there's also the second picture, there's one of my colleagues there distributing the sample seed packs. So these sample seed packs were distributed during seed fairs, and some of them are currently being distributed during field days. So we take any event that we have, we make sure that we have got sample seed packs, so that as we are telling farmers, explaining to them about the drought tolerance and the potential of our seed varieties, we're also giving them sample seed packs to go and try and get first-hand experience, so that come next season, they would have made a decision to adopt our variety or not to adopt. But in most cases, data has shown us that the adoption rate has increased significantly, as you will see from the results. Okay, so in terms of impact now, so we're coming from creating awareness, project-supported activities, creating awareness, demand creation. So all those activities put together, the expected outcome is increased adoption, and that is farmers buying these drought-tolerant hybrid maize seed varieties. So under this project, we had set a target of 1,030 metric tons annual seed sales. And through these project-supported demand creation activities, we were able to exceed that target by 26%, selling an extra 270 metric tons of the two varieties, AF635 and AF638. So this also translated into an increase in farmers accessing our seed varieties by 53%. That is about 22,500 additional farmers reached and adopting our seed varieties. So when you look at all those demand creation activities that I've just talked about, awareness and creation, demand creation, we have actually identified that the key driver when it comes to sales are field days coupled with a distribution of free seed packs. These are a game changer. And I had said in my initial introduction that the activities that were implemented under this project were based on industry best practices, tested and proven. So for us as a company, that's why you've seen the number of seed demos that we've established in year 3. From, I think we did about 500 in year 2 to 900 in year 3. This is because we've come to realize and we've witnessed and seen that farmer field days and free sample seed packs are a game changer. And I was just told today by the marketing team that the total number of seed packs that they've prepared awaiting distribution is about 44,000. 44,000 seed packs. So that's a lot that will be distributed between now and December. Okay. So as a company, we always say that our impact is not complete until it reaches smallholder farmers who are our main stakeholders and customers. We are a customer-centric focused business. So for us, impact that does not reward smallholder farmers is not impact. So the two women farmers on this slide speak to the impact that this project has had in on the rural communities, especially when you talk about the farming community. So the first one is Gladness Amafua. She's from Kalomo district, Southern Province. So Gladness was a shopkeeper in agro shop. She was moving from one agro shop to the other. Like she was a shopkeeper for about 12 years. But she was very much interested in starting her own agro shop. So when we were reaching out to those areas, because we were looking at scaling access to these hybrid seed varieties. So we were looking at in areas where we don't have agro dealers, can we take on VBAs or maybe community leaders? Can we train them into seed distributors? So when we met her, she was very much interested and we gave her 7 metric tons. And from the 7 metric tons, she sold 5.5 metric tons of both hybrid AF 635 and 638. So that earned an income of over $1,000 in commission only, sales commission. A big jump from 260 seasonal income she used to earn as a shopkeeper. So this is the kind of impacts in terms of household income impact that the project has had on the community. Because if a farmer can jump from $260 to $1,000, that is a huge positive impact on the household income. And from this income, she was able to also send her children to school. So for us as a company, this is what motivates us to even go deeper into those remote areas and reach more farmers. Then the other one is the Peggy, also from Karomo district. So Peggy, from attending our few days, gave us a try. She got 635 and planted over a 5-hectare farm plot, and she harvested 20 metric tons. So this was during the drought. And the Southern Province was one of the most hard hit regions by the drought. But she managed to get 4 metric tons per hectare. And when you look at the national average is about 2 metric tons, if not 1.8. But she managed to double that. And from the excess money that she made from the sales, she was able to buy a car and save money for the next season to buy seed. So next season, she had indicated that she wanted to plant now 12 hectares. So this is a farmer now slowly moving from small order to emergent farmer level. So this is the impact that I wanted to highlight, the impact that the partnership has had, and I believe will continue to have even beyond the idea. This will continue as part of the sustainability of the project. So in terms of in terms of challenges encountered, so of course for us in terms of climate-related disruptions, I think this was most significant in year 2 when we had the drought, where we saw a number of demos that suffered crop failure, and also just disruption in normal seed operations in terms of field days. We couldn't hold field days as planned because most of our demos in these drought hard hit regions had died. And the other one was operational delays and logistical constraints. These are normal challenges for seed business. Operations, logistics, delays, these are normal for a seed company because we are reaching farmers that are not in the city but in remote rural areas. So sometimes coordinating that logistical arrangement can be a nightmare in some of these remote areas, which is why I think I've not mentioned under the same AIDI project where we rolled out, I think, about 5 mobile shops. We are calling them the last mile distribution points. So these were aimed at facilitating access to our hybrid maize seed varieties in areas where we did not have agro dealers. So we get a VBA, and then we supply them, we allocate them a mobile shop, which is basically a refurbished container under an exclusive contract to just stock our hybrid maize seed varieties. So we are doing well on that one, and in the coming season, we intend to scale it to a lot more regions. Then the other challenge was the gender and youth inclusion. So for this one, of course, there are concerted efforts to ensure that we have more women and youths participating in the project. But we noticed that participation, especially for women, it remained at 40%, which is below our target. Our target was 50%, as well as youth participation. So in terms of the challenges here, this has to do with structural barriers, such as limited access to land, financial resources, decision-making platforms, also contributed to representation of women and young farmers. Other issues also have to do with basic recording. For instance, there are areas where you train a woman farmer, and then on the register, she puts the husband's name there. And others can be a demo host farmer, but instead of indicating her name there, she indicates the husband's name. So these are also issues to do with culture and the traditional dynamics in rural areas. So with that, I would like to just thank you, Taylor, once more, and also the participants for listening in and just for the opportunity to share our experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. I really, really appreciate that presentation. Once again, thank you so much to Dr. Akpo. You know, John, you really bring out such a critical factor, especially when you're also sharing these stories. We talk about sustainability. Having a woman who is thriving even during the dry spell, which has been such a challenging season for so many farmers and even so many citizens in countries such as Zambia. But now we see how through the ADI project and your efforts, people or farmers rather are able to more than double the yields of the average farmer. And it's through the use of these various seed varieties and enhanced varieties. And these are the types of stories we want to continue hearing about. But at the same time, we will not shy away from the various challenges that we've experienced, because these challenges will then inform our next steps and the next projects and the next researches that will be carried out. So at this point, I'd like us to quickly go into the question and answer session. I do know that we're a bit tight on time. I do see a hand is up, but before I come to you, I've got one question from Kelvin, and he asked a very good question, and I think this is posed to you, John. He's asking, what is the average size of your seed pack, and do you think the size matters? John, did you get the question?
Hello?
Maybe he has a connection issue.
Yes,
No.
John, can you hear me?
I got it, though I did not get the context. So the average seed pack in terms of?
Okay, so it's the average seed packs. I think this is now in relation to, it was after the time where you were talking about the success stories with regards to their yield, should my memory serve me correctly. So do you think the type of seed matters as well, the type of the size matters?
I think that has to do with plant population, but I think for us, the average seed pack per hectare, I think what we've seen from farmers is 20 kgs. But in terms of plant population, I know that's where the question was headed. I would allow Dr. Akpo to jump in, being the scientist.
Yeah. Yes, I think I can complement seed pack size matters, and one of our partners, most importantly in Malawi, they try to look at what is the most sourced pack size in Malawi. And in my presentation, I showed that it is 5 kg. Of course, from this finding, we can conclude that pack size matters. And depending on the acreage you have, and our target being the stakeholder farmers, we could understand the reason why, most of them, I would say, they prefer to go for the pack size that will be enough for the land. So, yes, in Malawi specifically, it is 5 kg. And I can affirm that seed pack size matters.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I did see a hand up from Dambo. Please go ahead. Ensure you introduce yourself and let us know where you are connecting with us from, and go ahead with your question.
All right. My name is Jegem Dambo. I am from Malawi, but I've currently connected from Germany. So my question, I don't know whether to call it a question or a comment, but I mean the project sounds good. But initially there was the drought tolerant maize for Africa. I think you know it. It was also in the promotion of drought tolerant maize, and there was also another project. It was innovation learning platform. I think they all came through CIMMYT, but then they promoted the genotypes. We promoted the genotypes. I was part of the team. We promoted the genotypes. After some time, after the project ended, it also felt like the end of the promotion of the genotypes. Now, I'm saying this because most of these companies that are contracted to or are involved in the project, their main aim is on profits, making profits. So what assurance is there that after the period of the project is gone, these genotypes that are being promoted will continue to save Malawians? That's one question. And the other question is, these, for example, Peacock 10 and MH30, were they chosen based on farmers' preference, or they were just chosen because they are drought tolerant? Because farmers, despite the drought tolerance, farmers will have different preferences according to their agroecological zones. So were these chosen based on their preferences, or they were just co-opted in the project? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Hila, can I?
Yes, please.
So thank you. Thanks so much, my friend, for your two questions. The first one, it is on the sustainability of the project's intervention, like the various, like previous initiative happened, but when project end, they phase out. You will see in my presentation, I said we have like 80% of partners we worked with through this project under the Global Maize Program umbrella. They are from the private sector. And private sector, as you rightly said, they are profit-making. The varieties they promoted, they are not public varieties. These are varieties that belong to them, on which they are making money. So the approach we use will help on the sustainability issue. These are not a public sector own resources. And the sustainability lies there. For sure, the TMA projects have been run, and the variety you promoted, if they are from the public sector, we will understand. But when looking at the new model being used by the seed units of DAS, they mainly license these products to the private seed company who own them and popularize them. And this brings me to your second question. about how these varieties are chosen. The choice, it was based on whether it is a drought-tolerant maize variety. We also look at the productivity. In addition to that, is it a new material? So all the varieties promoted in Malawi, they are recently released, let's say around less than 10 years old, and they are drought tolerant. In Zambia, some of them, they are fall armyworm tolerant, and I believe our Malawi team is doing the right thing so that fall armyworm tolerant maize hybrid can also go to farmers as they have been recently licensed to private seed companies. Over.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that detailed response. So I've got two questions and sort of answers, comments rather, that are pretty much related. So we have one in the chat from Dr. Hambulo Ngoma, and he says, how much is a seed pack distributed by AfriSeed for demand creation? And then does size matter? So this is in relation to the initial size matter comment. And we also have one which is pretty much related to seed packs. And they're asking, this is from Brian, and he's asking, are the seed packs free to farmers? So pretty much, are they free, or how much are they then distributed to generate demand creation? And then how is distribution done? So depending on the response to 1 and 2, is there a possibility to request for these packs for a set of farmers being engaged on other programs? Yeah, so I don't know if this question will be tackled by Dr. Akpo or by John. And they were pretty lengthy, so if you want me to read them again separately, you can let me know.
So maybe, I suggest that the one that is directed to AfriSeed, I think John can answer. But for this one, the question by Brian, I can respond by saying that with all the partners we have worked with, the small seed pack, they are free. It is not sold to farmer, because this small seed seed pack, it is for the farmer, before a variety is made available to communities, where we carry out some tests, some trial, also some demo, but to make sure that farmers, they can try out themselves, make their own decision. This small seed pack, like a 50 gram or 100 gram, are released to them. Go and try, make your own decision. So this is completely free, and the distribution is carried out on many occasions, including the one that gathers many farmers, like agricultural show or seed fair, any event where many farmers they do come. These are the opportunities used to reach out so many of them. For instance, agri-tech in Zambia, so many small seed packs are made available to farmer. And yes, for sure, based on a farmer's own learning, it is well advisable that they are used to be a kind of a spokesperson. I will trust what Hambulo is saying as scientists more than anyone. So farmers, they will trust their fellow farmer much better than any other stakeholder. So yes, I will definitely be of the opinion of using them in other programs so that they can be like a peer, a teacher or learner or whatsoever. Over to you, Tehila.
Thank you so much for that response. Okay, going back to Hambulo's question, it was more of him clarifying what had been asked. So I've seen his hand is up. So I think it will be easier if he just clarifies on what is asked, and then we can tackle that. Thank you so much, Hambulo, for jumping in and helping provide clarity rather. Please take it away.
All right, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to, the question is clear. I was just trying to clarify the question, but I just wanted to add to the response from ACPO regarding the question from our colleague from Malawi who is in Germany, asking specifically about the sustainability and how ADI sort of like builds on or differs from the previous interventions. So as it was mentioned, ADI is the Accelerated Innovation Delivery Initiative. So the core idea was we pick innovations that are available and are suitable for farmers and are needed by farmers to address specific challenges. In the context of maize, it's as Akpo mentioned, so varieties that are mouth stress and within a certain time frame that were released within the last 10 years or so. So the idea is these varieties are already out. So there was no breeding efforts or anything else like what was being done in the past and in other projects. So that's one major difference. The focus here, as you heard from the presentation, was on how do we take these varieties that are already there, they are proven, they are released, how do we take them to scale? How do we get them to reach farmers at the last mile? And this is where ACPO was talking about all the demand creation activities that were done and also the testimony we had from AfriSeed as one of the partners on ADI. So I do believe that in that context, ADI was and is very different from all the other projects that were done in the past, which focused primarily on developing germplasm in most instances, but also in the process of doing that, there's also the development aspect of trying to popularize this germplasm. ADI specifically focused on scaling these proven technologies. So I just thought I'd add that to the response that was given by ACPO. Thank you so much to both ACPO and John for these very interesting presentations. Over.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Hambulo, and for obviously providing that context as well. So just to ride on Hambulo's last sentiments, I would really like to thank our two partners, Dr. Akpo and John, for your insights and for really, to everybody who has joined us in this important conversation. Today, we've seen how strong seed systems really depend not only on innovation, but so much collaboration. This collaboration between science, policy, the private sector, and the farmers themselves. And if you missed anything and you'd want to share some of your thoughts of the session with your colleagues, please just be rest assured that because the session is being recorded, we will be posting it up on the socials, primarily on YouTube. And we certainly look forward to welcoming you for the May session. And on behalf of the ADI team and my colleagues here, thank you so much, and please do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.